Hi, everybody. It's a wee bit of alchemy. I'm Rick Barrett. Welcome. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about the concept of Song. And some people pronounce it Shung. It's spelled Song. Um, and the idea here is, well, first of all, the history of it generally has been interpreted as relax. So that's the idea of many people have been exposed to that term, if at all, is this learn to relax. That is, relax your muscular tension. And that's not wrong, but it's an incomplete idea from my perspective. And that is that if you just relax your muscles and don't replace it with anything else, then you're not really going to be able to do much with your body. And so if you seek to do something, you're probably going to go back to your familiar patterns, which is muscular tension. So the thing is to to complete the idea of Sung is that we are relaxing muscular tension uh, in order to activate the connective tissue system. And so the connective tissue system is comprised of your tendons and ligaments, your fascia, your cartilage, uh, and actually extends throughout the whole body and connects to the cytoplasm of every cell. And the connective tissue system has these one quality is tensegrity, that is that the whole system is connected up uh, and allows energy to be received by the whole system rather than just localized. So, kind of like if you hit a circus tent with your hand, you're going to see a ripple that goes out through that, or you can see the tensegrity that's in play in. Um, well, you can think of it too in terms of like the expansiveness of a balloon. That the the uh, energy is received by the surface of the balloon. But to make it really a tensegrity device, you then have to have struts inside. You have to have members inside, which are kind of uh, allowing the energy to circulate throughout the whole system. So your body mind is connected in that way. It's like your bones are not necessarily load bearing things like girders and beams in a building, or it's more like they are like the rigging in a sailing vessel. Okay, so you got booms and masts and things like that, and they're connected up, but they're not rigid. They're held together by ropes and things like that. So that's very similar to the way your body is aligned. So when you're getting sung, you you release the muscular tension, which then allows you to take the load into this system, which is more fundamental than the muscular system, and so it has this quality also of conducting energy very, very fast, and also information. So the structure has this quality of a kind of like a whippy, uh, flexible strength, kind of like think of like bamboo, kind of get that bendy, bend but won't break kind of feeling. That's the effect of your connective tissue system. So, and until you can learn to trust your connective tissue system, what in the Taiji classic they call it the sinews. He said, use your sinews, not your muscles. And That's without a whole lot of explanation. And so the energy travels through the sinews. And so that's what we're doing. We're learning how to cultivate this trust of our sinews, of our connective tissue system. When we do that, the whole body then resonates together in as a unit, structurally and energetically. Everything just kind of it's like flipping a switch and your computer comes on. Like the whole unit starts to activate, and it's not just one piece, but the whole thing. And it's, or your turn your ignition key in your car, and your car is suddenly online, and everything works. Your power steering, your brakes, your radio, your lights, everything comes online because you've activated this connective tissue system of the car. So we're when we're getting sung, we're learning to do how to release muscular tension and find that we have this strength, which turns out to be much stronger than the muscles. That because the muscles are very localized uh, power, whereas this connects up the whole system. And so these are we do lots of demonstrations to show the effectiveness of this internal power of Taijiquan. But so but it's a very subtle process of learning to trust it. And what you do is, first of all, you get rid of the muscular tension and find that you can support yourself without that tension, and then gradually increase the load on the system so that you say, "Oh, okay, give me more," and then you find that you can handle more and more with your internal power than you could have with your external muscular force. So the let's stand up and let's do a couple of exercises which help to cultivate an awareness of Sung. Let's begin with our three pillars just to get the energy up. So we want to really get that really firmly established so that it helps to accentuate the subtle differences that that we experience physically. So let's begin with your weight in the heels and feel yourself sinking down, releasing down into the earth. And so just to get an idea that push away from the earth, coming up, and then exhale and just kind of allow yourself to settle down into the earth. So what we're doing, just by doing that, we're doing that's sum. So we're we're no longer pushing away from the earth. We're relaxing down into it, and we say, okay, now in this position, what muscles can I let go of and still hold this shape? And breathe deeply. Place your tongue on the tip of your mouth, and then on the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and breathe through your nose. And feel yourself, each time you exhale, just find yourself just kind of settling down, 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 really finding out what you can release with each breath. So there's an opposite energy to our sung, which the Chinese term is feng, F-E-N-G, and you can think of it just reaching. And so you want to reach with the crown of your head. So allow your chin to tuck in slightly. No effort involved in this. You're just very gently allowing your head, and you're looking for that spot there where your head feels almost like it disappears. You just kind of, it's floating there. And in doing so, you're opening up the jade pillow gate at the back of your skull. And that allows your Jingshan, your spirit of vitality, to rise and fill your Muon Gong, your that spiritual center in the center of your brain. So we have these two poles in opposition. We're gently reaching up just about there above your head, right? Just kind of touching that with the top of your head. And at the same time, you're sinking down very soon, releasing. Relax your lower back and drop your sacrum, your coccyx, allowing your pelvic bowl to kind of level out. Knees are unlocked. You have these two things very gently pulling in opposition. This rising energy lifting the crown of your head, and the sinking, the sung that's filling your legs and sinking down into the earth. And breathe. And point your index fingers. Just feel your energetic coherence as you do that. Your whole body getting united, switching on. You may feel an insubstantiality as you do that, as your body gets more energized. It's sort of pulling you in the direction of less substance, more emptiness, sort of a balance between something and nothing. You reach with your elbows, just gently open up your shoulder joints. And feel into your hands and notice that it's filling up with energy now. Blood is circulating and filling up, feeling the blood in your arms, fingers. And bow forward gently, not very far, just from here. Keep your back straight, your spine straight, and you're bowing forward from the inguinal crease. And what that does is it unkinks the hose at your claw. And now you can turn from your hip joint and relax your butt muscles, relax your legs as you do that. And then bring your body more vertical, but still keeping that open claw as you do that. And feel into your hands and notice that all this is coming together and it's really energizing your fingers. So now, take your left hand and grab your right wrist and just relax your arm as much as you can. And using your left hand, bring your right arm up, bend at the elbow, so such that if you were to release your fingers of your left hand, your arm just, it's dead weight. Do that again. Just kind of, feel the heaviness of that right arm as you do that. So what we're doing is we're relaxing the muscular tension in that right arm. Drop it. Just feel how how empty that is with no muscular tension at all. Grab it again, pick it up. Good. Now you're going to point and reach with your index finger just slightly, just enough to make that energetic connection. And gradually release with your left hand and use the least amount of energy to keep your right arm in that position. Just so that you just feel yourself hanging out there. What's happening here is you by reaching with that index finger, you've activated your connective tissue system, sometimes called the living matrix. You activated that. So and then just do it again, just kind of relax and let go a little more, and then let go and see what that feels like. So this is what I mean by song. That is, you've released the muscular tension in your arm, but your arm is quite stable. Now bring your fingers on your wrist, fingers your left hand on your wrist, and just lightly touch that and maintain the position of your right arm without any muscular tension. And the more you press down with your fingers, the more you reach with that index finger, you really feel that index finger, and just notice that you can press down quite hard without activating the muscles in your shoulders, in your upper arm. You can press down quite hard, and what's happening here is you are using your sung to allow the energy to do the work that your muscles were doing. It's filling up your connective tissue system, and it creating this very powerful state of well, there's an internal power there that's taking over from your muscular contractions, and let that release your left hand and very gently lower your right hand, and just feel into your right arm now, and just notice the difference between your left and right arms. Notice how relaxed your muscles are in your right arm, yet they are very active in terms of your energy. Now I want you to point with your index finger your right arm and bend at the wrist, reaching up at the wrist, bend at the elbow, and using the least amount of energy, raise your right arm. And just very, very soft, very relaxed. What we're doing is we're very gradually we're shifting over the operating system that is governing this movement. We're switching from muscular tension to connective tissue system. And then press down and point, reach. And notice that arm has gotten very strong with very little tension involved. This is sung. And how sung is it? As much as you need. This is something that as you get familiar with it, you'll get you'll get comfortable. You'll be able to go on. You'll be able to use it at will. But right now, we're just exploring the real basics of this and getting it so we're comfortable calling upon our sung whenever we want to. Let's notice that there's this balance between the sung and the feng, the reaching, the two together. And then relax, let the right arm drop, look down, and just feel the difference there. Feel the energy in your right arm. It's shared by the whole system, by your whole body mind. Let's do it with the left hand. Reaching over, grab that and bring your left hand up. And this time we're going to take it a little higher. So, want to bring it up to about shoulder height. And drop it. I'm going to really get that nice and relaxed. So you're able to maintain that. You're releasing muscular tension in that arm so that it just drops. Bring it up there. Good. And then same thing here. Point and reach with your index finger. This connects up the whole system, activates the living matrix, and gradually letting go with your right hand and maintain your shape with your left hand. Slightly different position, same idea though. Take your right hand down, press down. The more you press, just reach with that index finger and feel the connection. If you're doing it correctly, you're going to press down with your fingers and you're going to feel it in your feet. You're going to feel the pressing down here because if you feel in your feet, that means that you've connected up the entire connective tissue system throughout the whole body. If that's happening, then you know you're on the right track. If you're not feeling in your feet, then you're probably bunching somewhere. You're probably tightening up your shoulder muscles or your biceps or something, and you want to let that go. And how you let that go? You just drop that and start over. Empty out. And so you're just getting used to that quality there. That ability to maintain your power, your effective power, while in this relaxed position. Notice it's not just relaxed, as if my arm was entirely relaxed, then it's just going to drop. What's happening here is I've replaced the muscular tension with something else. So now take your left arm and point, reach with your wrist. Continue to reach with your wrist and using the least amount of effort, you're extending out. So, and if you need to, do this, raise it, support it, and then let it hang. But the basic idea there is you're gradually shifting over so that you don't need that muscular tension to initiate the movement. You're pointing the index finger and you're feeling that. You can press down now with this and feel that in your feet. Feel that whole thing there with that. You're not pushing up with your arm. You're just holding that position. And the harder you press down with your right arm, the more you point and reach with your index finger. You're filling that. And let that go. And arm come down. Okay, so now activate point and reach with your wrist. I'm using my right. It doesn't matter. I'm using my right hand here. And reach and open up and extend. And just feel how heavy that arm feels. You know, the weight of the mass of the arm. But paradoxically, it feels kind of light. Because if you align to the insubstantiality of the energy, then that arm becomes very light and you're able to sustain this position for much longer than you would if you were just raising it from using pure muscular tension. And raise your fingers and float down. And feel your left hand floats up, reaches, opens. So what's happening here is you've opened up the shoulder joint, so your arm is just floating at your hang. So you can raise your arm over your head without tensing up your shoulder. The arm has got to be very sung to do that. The pointing and reaching creates that state of energetic coherence and allows you to do these things, allows you to use this other operating system in your body. Reach down with your elbow, raise your fingers, float down. Feel your arms kind of like seaweed. But seaweed made out of titanium. Bring your left arm. Actually raise your left arm. Put it in front of your body like a ward-off posture. Drop your elbow. Really just let your arm kind of hang here. Open up that shoulder joint. Point and reach with that index finger, and very slowly disengage your right hand so that your left arm is curved in front of your chest, like a ward-off. Reaching with your elbow, so you're opening up that shoulder joint. So what we got? We have this posture, which if you do it with muscular tension, is a very weak posture. But if we fill this up, we're using our chin. The energy is directed by consciousness and expressed by the body. And so, same thing here. You want to press in. You know, start by pressing down with your hand, and just feel relax and just feel the stability of that structure. Point, reach with your elbow, and just feel that the more you press down with your right hand, the stronger your left arm becomes. You fill with energy and relax. Now pull in with your hand. So you're pulling in toward your body and reaching, expanding outward with your forearm as you do that. And feel that in your feet. Feel that opening up your back as you do that. And just feel relaxing your arm as you do that, emptying out. And this time you're going to push out and your arm is going to press in as you do that. And just feel that energy. And what's the least amount of force you can use with your left hand to to counteract the muscular force of your right? And let that go. Feel the sung throughout your whole body, allowing the energy to circulate freely. Allow your arm to settle down. Just stand there a moment and just feel the sung. Relax. And you feel that. Feel the energy that's it's amplified by the more you relax your muscles. Okay, step in.
That
Good.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was terrific. What a wonderful way to be able to work with myself. Very empowering for working solo and
Beautiful.
testing. Um,
Beautiful. Thank you.
there was something I noticed for myself, where I was reaching, my eyes wanted to go there.
Nice.
Okay.
Good. Because that's what you want.
Okay.
Your eyes are they direct your spirit. And so whatever you're animating, your eyes help you to do that. Perfect. Cool. Valerie.
What I noticed, especially on my left side where I'm having a little bit of difficulty in my back, that as I was when I was lifting it with the other hand, it was pretty darn song, felt very good. But when I would try to raise it without the other arm, I would notice instantly the shoulder engaging. So I was focusing on my breath with my shoulder so that as it was coming up, okay, there's a little tightness, let it go, and it would go away. And then there would be another couple of inches up, and I would inhale and exhale and let it go. I found that very, I don't know, it was good.
That's great.
It made me focus on feeling that tension in my shoulder, or allowing me to feel that tension in my shoulder so I could let it go. And I wasn't fighting it, which would be counterproductive, correct? Fighting it. So yeah, it was very cool. It was very cool.
Thank you. That's a really helpful tip for everybody. Kind of work through those tough spots. Good. Dave, you had something.
I did, yeah. I was amazed at how out of whack my body had gotten in just, 5 days or whatever long it's been. But also how quickly, once I got into the movements, that um, I was able to, get some of the energy back, uh, which was very um, a good feeling.
Perfect. Wonderful.
There's so much tension in my shoulders, particularly my right shoulder, that I was never aware of before. So, through all this stuff, what we did in Sedona, and uh, it really helps to loosen things up for me. So that's good.
Terrific. Richard.
I was feeling like something like what Valerie was saying is that I noticed that the tension in my shoulder, I was able to reduce it, and it went down to the bottom of my scapula. So then I had to try to relax that. But that was very new for me. And actually, for me, being able to move the tension anywhere out of my shoulder is really good.
That's great.
But also, I felt a couple of times, I felt as though I was pushing against someone else's arm, who was very strong.
Great. Cool. Anybody else? Scott.
Excuse me. I definitely want to second what Sharon said about it's a great exercise to be able to do by ourselves. We've done this before, but I've never gotten to the point where I was yanking in on my arm and it wasn't moving. It was definitely a new level. And I will say that searching for that floating feeling in your niwana, your crown, really helped me stay sung. Really helped me stay sung.
Incredible. Great. Jonathan. You're on mute.
You.
No.
Mute, Stan.
I always love the emphasis on the feet. And I wonder, I mean, like I'm sitting here now talking to you and I got one foot on the floor. There's ways to adjust, right? That I can kind of feel my feet when I move my hand. And I mean, do you do that a lot? I mean, it just seems like there's all kinds of opportunities to connect the feet and the hands. And I mean, this exercise is particularly good for that. But it just seems something we could be doing all the time in one way or another.
Yeah, I find it helpful to do that. Connect up.
And then, and as you're saying, and then when you're making the actual movement, feeling it into the feet. So if I'm just sitting here, I'm just trying to think. If I move my hand a little bit, right? I mean, I guess there's all kinds of ways of playing with that, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
fine tuning the subtle awarenesses involved. If I just move my hand like this, it takes some pretty fine awareness to be able to feel that in your feet.
Right.
But you can do it.
Right. It's always available to do. Yeah, that's very cool.
It's available to do
That's
it.
great.
But it comes with making that connection. So if I started by feeling that index finger, then I can actually feel that that little movement in my feet.
No, it's so good. I mean, it's so related to push hands, right? Because instead of trying to push the person away, you're really trying to connect with their feet, and then you can move them anywhere. You're not even pushing them away anymore. You're just
right.
So that first thing to feel their feet, it's a good start now by feeling my feet. It's a great game. Good exercise.
Good one. Yes, great. That's a great insight. Beautiful. Okay. You have anything more, Richard? You're on
You're
mute.
muted, honey.
It's making me wonder why we have a skeletal system. And then thinking about the practice where you learn the evolution of humans from the water to the land, and how their skeletal system and muscular system develops. It seems like we're going the other direction.
This is we're trying to cultivate things which take us beyond our DNA and something more. We're creating our own evolution. Yeah.
Well, I think maybe I'm wrong about this, but I would say that the bones are like a bow, right? And the muscles and the tendons and everything else are the string. So you need the bow. You need the bow that tends to.
That's a good analogy. That's a good analogy. And in actuality, your bones are part of your connective tissue system. So they just happen to be a denser part of it. So, okay. Well, thank you all so much. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you,
And
Maria.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Maria, the production
Love you
staff.
guys.
Love you all.
Bye-bye. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Great to see you, Elise and Dave.
Yeah.
We always
Won-
have Sedona.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Terrific.
Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.